This recruit sneaked to the front line to fight, only to find the position deserted, with nothing but high-quality equipment scattered all over the ground. This kind of scene could only happen in a dream. He immediately started frantically throwing grenades. Not long before, the man had arrived at the military base and informed them that the enemy was about to reach Maushan. He requested that the regiment commander set up an ambush there in advance. Maushan's treacherous terrain made it an ideal place for an ambush. The regiment commander immediately decided to launch a joint operation with the National Army forces who had come to observe. The man was itching to join, so he enlisted on the spot and asked to participate in the battle. But to his surprise, the regiment commander assigned him to the quartermaster's department. The regiment commander told him that the first rule of being a soldier was to obey orders. However, the man was not one to sit still. Just a few minutes later, he secretly grabbed a gun and ammunition and followed the troops to Maushan. The regiment commander had no idea. When the enemy arrived, he immediately gave the order to open fire. Thanks to their geographical advantage, the soldiers unleashed their full firepower, leaving the enemy with no means to resist. The enemy officer realized the situation was dire and ordered a squad to flank the position. The flank was defended by the National Army. At first, they fought with fervor and passion, engaging the enemy fiercely. But when the enemy launched an artillery barrage, the chief of staff couldn't take it anymore and urged the commanding officer to retreat. The officer immediately ordered a full retreat. The soldiers below couldn't bear to abandon the position, so they spontaneously left their weapons behind on the battlefield. The chief simply ordered all weapons to be left behind and led the troops away from the position. But the regiment commander didn't know they had retreated. Seeing that the pressure on the front had eased, he sent reinforcements to assist. The man, hearing this, secretly followed them. To avoid being detected, he took a detour and arrived at the position early, only to find the place completely empty, but littered with abandoned equipment. The man was thrilled. He picked up grenades and started hurling them wildly. A few minutes later, the reinforcement squad arrived. Under their suppressive fire, they managed to repel the enemy. However, the situation was not optimistic. The enemy had begun shelling the position, and while the soldiers were taking cover, the enemy launched a charge under artillery cover. Facing an enemy several times their size, everyone stood their ground. They fixed their bayonets and launched a countercharge against the enemy. For a time, the clashing of blades filled the entire valley. Meanwhile, on the main front, our main force was also under fierce attack. Who do you think will win this battle?